Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Top Hat Gaming Man here with my co-host Luke Street. To be honest, today's episode is a little bit more serious than normal, in my opinion. So over to you, Luke. What are we discussing?
We're going to be discussing today one of your recent procurements.
Well, it was a procurement.
Yes, you bought a very good game.
I did.
That you really wanted to play and you were really looking forward to.
I bought Fire Emblem for the Nintendo DS for £35 from CEX.
And how did that purchase go?
Well, I got it, got really excited, got home, had a close-up look at it, and something looked rather odd about the box.
Okay.
But I noticed around the edges of the inlay label, it was a little bit jaggedy. So I pulled out the inlay, and then I noticed it wasn't made of glossy paper and instead was just made of normal paper. And when I pulled it out completely, I noticed that on the back of the paper was a massive CEX logo stating that it wasn't a real label and that they had made it.
See, that is ridiculous.
Yes, this is a big high street chain for people who are watching around the world. What CEX are.
CEX are essentially a company. They have a shop floor. You can go in to see them. They've got shop fronts all across the country.
Yes.
And they sell second-hand electronics and games and
cameras,
all stuff like that. Laptops,
DVDs.
PCs. And they sell old consoles as well. So
they do. They sell retro games now as well. Yes, retro games.
So lots of old stuff as well.
Yes.
And yeah, you bought this, and where is it now? Because obviously we don't have it as a prop. We usually do props when we do this.
Well, yes, I was disgusted with this item, so obviously I ran it straight back to the store and said, "Give me my money back now." And it was like, "Why? Why do you want your money back?" Because I said, "You've bloody just sold me a counterfeit game." And it was like, "How's it counterfeit?" And then I pulled out the label, showed him the logo, and then the young man behind the counter, who's probably only about 18 years old, he goes, "Oh, I didn't know they do that." So even the person behind the counter was disgusted at what had been sold.
Well, I know you, and you clearly didn't apologise for shouting at this young
no.
man, even though he had no idea.
No, to be honest, I didn't really shout at him. I was just quite stern, and when he saw why, he didn't disagree. He refunded me pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's very nice of him.
However, the only reason I got refunded, in my opinion, is because CEX have a 48-hour return policy. So as long as you return something in 48 hours, you get a refund. If I didn't make that 48-hour window, they probably would have just kept my money. But that's just an inference I'm making. But this is a different topic altogether.
Maybe we should buy one and do it. We'll do an investigation.
In fact, yes, we will do that. We'll buy one of these fake games from CEX and keep it for 48 hours and see if they let us return it.
We will do that. We will do that.
We will definitely do that as an experiment.
We haven't had time because you were so angry about this.
But anyway, I was really angry about this game with counterfeit box art. I was so angry, in fact, I got straight on social media, as you do, and I tweeted a few questions over to CEX themselves. So do you mind reading those out for me, please, Luke?
Yes, you tweeted, was it 6 questions?
I tweeted 6 questions at them, yes.
Okay, so these questions, it will take me 1 second.
Okay, good. So we got them up?
It's going to take a second. There we go. Okay, would you like me to read these questions?
I'll read them, so it comes in my voice.
Okay,
so I asked CEX 6 questions. The first question, why are you printing counterfeit reproduction inlays for games you have for sale in your stores? Number 2, why is the nature of these copies concealed on the inside of these labels? Number 3, why are customers not told at purchase they are buying knockoffs? Number 4, do you have permission from the game publishers to be reprinting and selling their box art? Number 5, why are these knockoffs for sale in your store at the same price as the genuine copies of the games are for sale at? And number 6, I'd love to have all these questions answered so I can let people know the answers in a YouTube video. So that's obviously at the stage we are at right now. And quite clearly, as we are now in the video stage, they've not responded to me. They just ignored my questions completely, which I find rather amusing. As a few months ago, I mentioned CEX in a tweet. I just made a casual joke about my local CEX store smelling really badly. And they responded instantly. I didn't even ask them a question. And they said, which store is this? We need to go sort it out. And I said, don't worry, it's not your staff. You just have a particular smelly customer base. So you can't do anything about that. So I know that they read the tweets because they answered me so quickly before. But when I'm actually asking them something more serious, they've just completely ignored me. However, obviously these tweets have kicked up quite a lot of interest on social media. As it turns out, according to my tweet and all the responses, this is a regular occurrence. Like, there are so many people out there this has happened to, who are going to CEX, buying a game, thinking they've bought an authentic product, and then they've got home and it turns out the inlay and the box art is counterfeit and they've made it in store.
Yeah. I mean, for the consumer, copyright law doesn't really matter to them so much. I think the two biggest issues that we're having here that would concern me if this had happened to me is the fact that, first of all, you're not told that that they're reproducing these things, and when you're going to purchase it, they should be telling you, just so you know, this is a reproduction case, blah blah. For the consumer, I think that's important. And the second thing is the fact that they're selling these at the same price as games with the original box and case.
It's a large high street chain. We've got CEXs basically in every town in the country.
Yeah,
so therefore, you would expect from them that they would have more serious business practices, wouldn't you? Like more respectful business practices. So that's why I never checked to see whether the label was real, because you wouldn't think I would have to in a place like that.
They should be telling, especially bearing in mind that they do sell retro things. Most people that buy retro now are going to be collectors, and they're going to want to know if what they're buying is a reproduction or the genuine article.
So for everyone watching, if you are inclined to use CEX, which I wouldn't now after watching this video, if you are, be very, very careful with what you are buying, because the company will intentionally, that's the important part, they will intentionally try and deceive you by selling you a counterfeit product they have made in their own store. Yeah. They won't tell you, they will literally try and palm it off to you.
To be fair, I don't think they make it in the store. But your point is still completely valid.
Yes, it's made within the company.
Somebody will shout at you.
Yes.
If you get something minorly wrong like that. I think it's probably made by the company and it gets shipped out to them because the guy didn't know.
Okay. This is where it gets even more interesting from here, because obviously I've sent out this tweet. It's got quite a lot of attention, but one tweet in particular, one response has been quite interesting. Who was that from again? What was the name of the YouTuber?
There's a YouTube channel, and we'll link him in as well. You can do that, right? Yeah.
Yes, I'll put the link in the description.
Yeah. Called Pomelo Pictures.
Yes, that was the one. And it's basically a gentleman who's been in a similar scenario to myself. However, this happened about a month ago. He did get responses from CEX. In fact, he got multiple responses from CEX about this problem he's undergone. And according to CEX, everything they are doing complies with the rules set by trading standards.
Yes.
They reckon although obviously it is not an honest practice and they are intentionally misleading their customer base, it's okay because it's all legal and above board according to trading standards. So this YouTuber has gone back and forwards exchanging emails and tweets with CEX, and eventually he has pointed them actually towards another YouTuber, the gaming historian over in the United States, who's actually covered the story of Nintendo versus Blockbuster. Obviously Nintendo wasn't happy when they started renting out video games rather than selling their products, because they obviously wasn't making any extra profit off that. However, in the end, Nintendo managed to do Blockbuster over, because Blockbuster were illegally reprinting Nintendo manuals to give out with the rental copies of the game, so people would not lose the original manuals. Because obviously it's illegal to reprint copyright articles, isn't it? Well,
yes.
Or literature, I should say.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you do not hold the copyright to say, you shouldn't be able to reprint it. Am I getting this point right?
I think it makes sense. Yeah, I think you've covered it.
So yes, anyway, that's how Nintendo got their claws into Blockbuster and beat them. Obviously, this happened in the United States, not the UK, so slightly different laws. However, since then, what I believe, this YouTuber has contacted Trading Standards about this, and now there is a more serious investigation into the matter.
Yeah.
And also, CEX have gone completely silent on the matter of selling counterfeit products, hence the reason why they completely ignored my tweets. But before, they was gloating to people how everything they was doing was above board, but they obviously didn't look too far into the rules of copyright.
I mean, CEX are a very strange company anyway, because they're like a storefront version of
scalpers.
Of scalpers.
So, for example, this is the kind of shop. It's a big high street chain, but on release day, they was people was going into game, buying Nintendo Minis, Super Nintendo Minis, taking it straight into CEX. Then CEX was sticking them up for £150 each.
Yeah.
And then justifying that's okay because due to market forces. They don't like the word scalper, no, they like the word market forces instead, because they're just corporate bastards essentially who are trying to weave in and out of. Yes, so going on from here, due to this procurement, which I had to take back to the store, I too will now be going to trading standards with this issue, because obviously this is happening to a lot of people, and by the looks of it, CEX are making a lot of profit unfairly. They don't even differentiate the difference, do they, properly between... what was it we said about pricing? We read something about pricing, or heard something about pricing.
Yeah, no, it was in that video. I think this might be what you're getting at. They do differentiate their prices very slightly depending on the condition of certain things. Games being one of them in some cases. So you can have an A, B or C grade listed product. A being mint.
And what's mint? Define how they define mint.
Apparently, they define mint as with instruction manual.
That's it. That's what means mint, according to CEX, just an instruction manual.
And then they have a B and a C. The C being slightly cheaper than the B, and the B being slightly cheaper than the A.
So have they said where these counterfeit products fall within their rating system? Do we know that?
I mean, I would assume that it's just going to be anything that is unboxed would, in theory, be cheaper. But if they're making their own box arts and sticking them in boxes, I mean, it's
so
just,
if it's got the manual,
if it's got
a manual, and they've reprinted a box, technically that is mint according to CEX. We think.
Yeah, we can't prove this, because without going and giving them loads of money to go and buy loads of expensive games that are all in.
So I think we might have to do a little case study into this and pop into CEX and buy some of their counterfeit game boxes to find out more. I suppose that's the only way, really. But apart from that, if this has happened to you, then please get on to trading standards. The more of you watching who report this to trading standards, the more likely we are to be able to fix this matter and stop these crooks in their tracks. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I think we have to try and do something. I mean, the gentleman that we watched, Pomelo Pictures, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not 100% sure. If I'm getting it wrong, I'm sorry if you're watching this. He has gone to trading standards and he has a case number.
Yes,
and it is being looked into. But the power of your fan base.
Power in numbers, yes.
Yeah.
So this is a really important video for me, because I really want people to hear about this and to help correct this. So in fact, if you're not going to report this to trading standards, at least please retweet this if you're watching. Please share it. Show this to bloody everyone, because we want to get this annoyance resolved. It's disgusting, and it's not the sort of crap we should have to put up with on our high street. Would you agree with that?
It is pretty awful.
It's disgusting.
One thing I would like, are we nearing the end of the video?
I think so,
now?
yes.
Okay. One thing I would like to know, if you have made purchases from CEX for games, go now, right now, and go and find your game cases and have a look and see how many of you have had the same problem, and put it in the comments section below.
Yes, that'd
be nice.
We do
really want to see this, and we will be reading every single one of these comments, as many as humanly possible, to try and find out how many people this is actually happening to.
Because according to Twitter, this problem appears to be rife.
Yes,
I mean, it needs culling now. Yeah. We need to stop CEX doing this. It's disgraceful.
You wouldn't accept it if you knowingly went and bought it from somebody. You wouldn't be happy. In fact,
my channel's got some pull. I'm pretty sure there'd be some CEX executives watching this right now. Just to be aware, you're scum. You are dirty scum, and you are going down. Cheerio.